Hi everyone, in front of you I am M. Sushma and I am pursuing first MPC in TTWRJC Mantani. Now I am in front of you to introduce an interesting topic from chemistry. Do you know what is chemistry? Chemistry is nothing but the study of chemicals, products, acids, bases, etc. Before entering to our topic, let us do a small activity. Hope you all interested to do this activity, right? Let us do this activity. All of you close your eyes and forget everything around you and repeat word chemistry in your mind. Then many pictures were running in your mind, right? Among that, one is periodic table. Hope you all understood what's my topic. Today my topic is periodic table. What is periodic table? Before knowing about the periodic table, let us know about the classification of elements. The classification of elements has been done by the four scientists. They are Dobryner, who belongs to the year 1829 and he was a German chemist. And second person is Newlands. He belongs to the year 1865 and he is a Briton chemist. And Mendeleev is a third person, and Henry Moseley, who belongs to the 1913, was classified our modern periodic table. Let us now learn about each of them. The first person is Dobryner. Dobryner has classified the elements according to the triads. Each triad consists of 3 elements, and he stated that the average atomic weight of first and third element will give us the atomic weight of second element. But this law has led to limitations. How it is possible? Let us see an example. See here, applicable. This law is only applicable for the few elements. Let us see, for example, lithium is with atomic weight of 7 and potassium with atomic weight of 39. Average of 7 and 39 will give us 23. This is the atomic weight of sodium. But this law is not applicable for the elements with too high atomic weight and with too low atomic weight. So, let us see an example for this also. Here, fluorine is with atomic weight of 19 and bromine is with atomic weight of 79. Average of 19 and 79 will give us 49. But this is not atomic weight of chlorine. So, this law is not applicable. So, Dobryner had led to limitations. So, let us now discuss about the second person. He is Newlands. Newlands had classified the elements by overcoming the limitations of Dobryner. Newland had classified elements in a particular order by arranging the elements in the ascending order of their atomic weight. When he had arranged the elements in atomic weight, they are filled into 7 groups, and each 8th element will having the similar property with the first element. But sadly, Newland's law also led to limitations. What are that? Do you want to know? Let us discuss now. At the time of Newlands, there was only 56 elements known. So, he had prepared a particular table with only 56 elements. He do not left any empty space for new coming elements. And another limitation is, see here, cobalt and nickel were placed in the same period. Actually, cobalt and nickel have different properties. The different properties elements were placed in the same group. So, this led to the limitation of Newland. Let us now discuss about the third person. He is Mendeleev. Mendeleev had classified the periodic table into 8 periods and 8 groups and 7 periods. And he stated that each group consists of subgroups. They are A and B. And he gave another statement that the elements in the period have similar properties, and from left to right in period they differ in their properties. But sadly, Mendeleev also led to the limitations. Why it happened? Why? Because Mendeleev led to 2 limitations. One is anomalous series and another is dissimilar properties. Anomalous series is nothing but when he had arranged the elements in a particular atomic weight, the low atomic weight should be preceded before high atomic weight. But differently, the Mendeleev had preceded the tellurium with iodine. As when we see this particular periodic table, the iodine has less atomic weight and tellurium has high atomic weight. Actually, the iodine should be preceded before tellurium. But differently, Mendeleev had preceded tellurium in iodine. So he led to the limitation. Finally, by overcoming the limitations of these three chemists, the chemist came into the focus. He is Henry Moseley. He had classified periodic table into 18 groups and 7 periods. This periodic table is also called as modern periodic table, which we are using now. What is the difference between Mendeleev periodic table and Moseley periodic table? Are you getting that? I am here to clarify it. Here, the Mendeleev had classified the periodic table according to atomic weight, but Moseley has classified the periodic table according to atomic number. And in Mendeleev periodic table, there was no noble gases, but in Moseley periodic table, there is a noble gases. Why it happens so? Why? Because during the classification of periodic table, when Mendeleev has done, there is no noble gases discovered. But when Moseley started classifying the elements, the new noble gases has been discovered. So this is a periodic table which we are using now. Now we had learned about the periodic table, right? Now let us learn how the classification has been done. On the periodic properties, the classification has been done. A picture which gives a total properties is this. Now see this picture clearly. There are all properties displayed in this. Now let us discuss about each of them. See these periodic properties. Atomic radius increases in groups and decreases in period, and electron affinity decreases in group and increases in period. Electronegativity decreases in group and increases in period. Electropositivity increases in group and decreases in period. Ionization potential increases in group and decreases in period. Metallic nature increases in group and decreases in period. Non-metallic nature will be decreasing in periods and increasing in nature. I said you that groups and periods, what are they? You have got that the vertical columns is called as groups, and there are 18 groups in our modern periodic table. From left to right, the horizontal rows is called as periods. There are 7 periods in our modern periodic table. Now let us discuss about each of the property. The first property is atomic radius. See, when we are moving from top to bottom in groups, the atomic size will be increasing. Hope you know the radius. Radius is nothing but the distance from the nucleus to the outermost orbital. If size is increased, then radius also increases. So we can say from top to bottom, atomic radius is increasing, and from left to right, the atomic radius is decreasing. Why the size of atom is increasing? Why? Because from top to bottom, the new coming electrons will be entered into the new shell. So number of shells increases, so atomic size increases. As the atomic size increases, atomic radius also increases. But as we move from left to right, the atomic size decreasing. Why it happens so? Why? Because as the new electrons entered into same shell. For example, see here, hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen has 1 electron and helium has 2 electrons. The electron which has been filled with hydrogen, the next coming electron in the helium will be entering into the same shell. And for example, let us take hydrogen and lithium. Hydrogen has 1 electron, so it will be filled in the first shell, and lithium has 3 electrons. The one more electron will be filled in the first shell, and another electron will be forming the new shell. This what happens in the groups and periods. Let us now discuss another property, that is electronuclear attraction. As I said you before, from top to bottom, the atomic size is increasing and the atomic radius is increasing. Before discussing about the nuclear attraction, I want to tell you a small example. See here, when there is a single teacher and 20 students, is it easy to deal teacher with every student? No, it's not easy. But when there is only 5 students, it is very easy to teacher to focus on every student. In the same way, from top to bottom, the number of shells is increasing. So, as the shells increases, in the same way the students increases. The attraction of teacher will be decreased on the all students. In the same way, the attraction of nucleus also decreases over all electrons. There is a chance to lose electrons. As we move from left to right in period, the nuclear attraction will be decreasing. Why it happens so? Why? Because from left to right the atomic size is decreasing. So the atomic radius also decreases. So nuclear attraction will be more, as we discussed about bit before example that only 5 students. This what happens in the groups and periods about the nuclear attraction. See here, this is the ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy is nothing but the amount of energy required to remove an electron from the isolated atom. See, from top to bottom they are called as groups. From top to bottom, here the radius is increasing, so nuclear attraction is decreased. So it is easy to lose an electron. So from top to bottom we can say ionization energy is more, and from left to right the atomic size is decreasing. So nuclear attraction will be increasing. So from left to right the ionization energy is decreasing. Let us move to the next property, that is electronegativity. See, when the bond formed between two atoms, assume that this is atom and assume that this is another atom. They had formed a bond. The electrons which is present in this bond will be belongs to this atom, at the same time this atom. This atom always try to attract the electrons towards itself, and this atom also tries to attract the electrons this side. But finally that electrons should be contributed to only one atom. So one should be the donor and another should be an acceptor. Here negativity means the negative charge. When we get negative charge, when the electrons are gained, we will get negative charge. If the attraction is more, we can gain an electron. From top to bottom, is the attraction more? No. So it is decreasing. The negativity decreases in groups from top to bottom. And as I said you before, the acceptor is in groups. From left to right, nuclear attraction is more. If attraction is more, it is easy to gain an electron. So we can simply say from top to bottom, an electronegativity is decreasing, and from left to right, electronegativity is increasing. Let us now move to the another property, that is electropositivity. Electropositivity is similar with the metallic character. What are the metals? Metals is nothing but the element which can be formed from which can be remodified from one form to another form. Once observe your surroundings, there are many things made up of metal. The metal can be formed from one form to another form, which can be remodified. Do you understand? The metal is a thing which can be remodified from one form to another form. And the special thing, that a special character that every metal had is they always loses an electron. As I said you before, you will guess that where the metallic character is increasing. You are absolutely correct. From top to bottom, metallic character is increasing. Why it happens so? Why? Because from top to bottom, atomic size is increasing, so atomic radius increases, so nuclear attraction will be decreasing. If the attraction is less, there is easy to remove an electron. So that's what happens in the groups. Now let us discuss about the periods. From left to right, the atomic size is decreasing, so radius also decreases, nuclear attraction will be increasing. Actually, the metal have nature to lose an electron but not gaining. If the attraction is more, is it easy to lose an electron? No. So simply we can say from top to bottom in groups, metallic character increases, and from left to right, the metallic character is decreasing. Non-metallic character is quite opposite to the metallic character. Metallic character, let us see this table. Metallic character from top to bottom is increasing, and from left to right is decreasing. As I said you before, that's what happening in the periodic table. Actually, the periodic table sublevelly divided into blocks. There is S block, P block, D block, F block. And let us now discuss about each of the blocks. This is a periodic table, and left side 2 groups is called as S block, and right side 6 groups is called as P block, and middle 10 groups is called as D block, and down 2 is called as F block. Do you understand? This is a clear picture of periodic table which has been divided into blocks later. Now let us discuss about each of the group. This is S block. S block means the differentiating electrons entering into ns orbital, then that element can be said into D block, S block. Actually, what is N? N is nothing but a principal quantum number. What is principal quantum number? Principal quantum number is proposed by Niels Bohr, and the N value is 1, 2, 3, 4 so on, and K, L, M, N, etc. What is N indicates? N indicates that number of shells and which shell does the electrons are moving, on which shell the electrons are filled. So this is Ns, and the maximum holding electrons in this S block is 2, and the general electronic configuration is Ns 1 to 2, and the S block elements are metals, and later they are divided into two types of metals, alkane metals and alkane earth metals. As I said you before, first A and second A is S block elements. First A is called as alkane metals and second A is called as alkane earth metals. What is alkane metals? Divide the word alkane. Alkane means plant ash. So these elements are obtained from the plant ash. So these elements is named as alkane metals. Alkane earth metals is nothing but the alkane metals which are easily available on earth's surface is called as alkane earth metals, and a special character had to the alkane metals. What is that? Are you surprising and interested to know about it? Let us discuss. When the alkane metals are reacted with water, they form a strong base. So we are indicating the base with alkane. So we named them as alkane metals and alkane earth metals. The general configuration of first A is 1s1 and general configuration of second group is 1s2. And I want to say an important thing that S block is placed left side of the periodic table. Do you understand? Left side of the periodic table. Now let us move to the P block. I forgot to tell you an important thing about S block. The S block consists of no subshells and it is in a spherical shape. If you see the picture, there two groups is called as first A and second A. Okay, now let us move our topic to the P block. Actually, as I said you before, if the differentiating electrons were entering into ns orbital, then that elements belongs to S block. But if the differentiating electrons were entering into np orbital, then they are considered under P block. What is N here? Same, N is a principal quantum number which indicates the shells, and P is nothing but the orbital, P orbital, and general configuration of P block is Np 1 to 6 and maximum holding electrons is 6. So they are also called as inert gases which has filled there completely with 6. When the orbital is completely filled with 6 electrons, that element is said to be a noble gases. In P block, 18th group or 8th group is completely filled. So they are named as noble gases or inert gases. Why they are named in such a way? Why? Because they are like nobles. They do not interact with others easily. So they named as a inert gases. They also do not participate in any chemical reactions. And P block is from 13th group to 18th group. P block consists of 3 subshells. They are Px, Py and Pz. And their shape is double dumbbell. Let us now see the shape of the orbitals. This is a shape of orbitals. And if you observe the P block carefully, you will see a staircase. Are you? Yes. Below the staircase, the elements are metals, and above the staircase, the elements are not metals. And a doubt is running in your mind that if the elements are lying on the staircase? Yes. If the elements are lying on the staircase, they are considered under the metalloids. They behave as metals and non-metals according to the situation. Okay, this is the Px and this is a Py and this is a Pz. Let us move our topic to the D block. D block. As I said you before, if the differentiating electrons were entering into NP orbital, that belongs to p block. Then if the differentiating electrons enter into n minus d of, then they are considered under d block. The maximum electrons holded here is 10 and the general configuration is n minus 1 of d 1 to 10, and d orbital has subshells dxy, dyz, dx square minus y square and dz square. These are the orbitals present in the d block, and d orbital also called as transmitting elements. Why they are called in such a way? Why? Because the elements, instead of accepting the noble gases, all the elements are called as transmitting elements, and this d block is divided into 4 series: 3D, 4D, 5D and 6D. I forgot to tell you an important thing in p block. That p block is, they are divided into family. They are boron family, carbon family, nitrogen family, oxygen family, fluorine family and neon family. Okay, do you understand? Now I want to show you, and I forgot to tell you that the d block orbital shape is double dumbbell, and this is a d block elements. Now let us move our topic to the f block. F block. As I said you before, if the differentiating electrons enter into n minus 1 of d orbital, then that element is considered under d block. If in this case, if the differentiating electrons enter into n minus 2 of f, then that element belongs to the f block. Elements are divided into 2 series. F block elements are divided into 2 series. There is 4f and 5f series. 4f series is called lanthanides and 5f series is called as lanthanides. Okay, we had discussed about blocks also. As I said you that, I want to tell you a story why the elements are classified. Elements are classified because few centuries back there was only 33 elements. So it is easy to learn about 33 elements individually. But later the number of elements had increased to 94. So it is bit hard to learn about each element individually. So at the same point of time, man started inventing the elements. How the man started inventing the elements? You are excited, right? By the nuclear fusion of two natural atoms, we can get a product of new element. That element is called as man-made element or synthetic element. So to remember the all properties, it is bit difficult. So one of the scientists said that, why won't we classify them into separately? Though they classified into metals and non-metals. Later they found some of the elements acting as metalloids also. So they divided they remodified the table according to the atomic weight. Later they modified the table into atomic period. This what happens in the periodic table. Why we should classify the periodic table? What is the use? Why? Because for example, you went to the medical shop. You will see a vast number of medicines. But when you ask for a particular medicine, without any confusion, he will give you that particular medicine. How it happens? Why? Because the tablets or the medicine already arranged in a particular order. So in order to not confuse among that such a vast number of elements, so that periodic table is formed. And thank you for giving this golden opportunity for our Supreme Swaro, dear Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir, and our regional secretary, our region secretary Venkaya sir, and Mana TV, and our principal Sahil sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity.